In 2020, a woman named Leticia Macer, also known as T, emerged from the shadows to share a story that sent ripples through social media and tabloid headlines. At 28 years old, she claimed to be the daughter of Jay-Z, one of the most prominent figures in music and business. Her allegations, first posted on Instagram under the handle @Jay's First Daughter, painted a picture of a life lived in the margins of a larger-than-life celebrity's world. Leticia, born in 1990 in Cambridge, Maryland, described growing up in a community where, according to her, everyone knew Jay-Z was her father. Her mother, Lisa, had reportedly been introduced to Jay-Z through Lisa's sister, Terry Turner, sparking a romantic relationship that Leticia claims resulted in her birth. In a series of Instagram posts, she detailed her personal struggles, including raising 4 children, among them a set of twins, while working 2 jobs, attending school full-time, and caring for her mother, who became bedridden due to multiple sclerosis. Leticia's story wasn't just about her claim to Jay-Z's paternity. It was a narrative of resilience in the face of hardship, underscored by a desire for acknowledgement rather than financial gain or fame. Leticia's allegations were bolstered by her aunt, Terry Turner, who took to Facebook to corroborate the story. Terry claimed she personally introduced Lisa to Jay-Z years ago when they spent time together at her apartment on Greenwood Avenue in Cambridge, Maryland. She described a casual, familiar setting where they laughed, drank, smoked, played cards, and some more stuff. According to Terry, when Lisa discovered she was pregnant, she and Terry attempted to contact Jay-Z through his Rockefeller Records team. Their efforts were met with dismissal, with a representative reportedly saying, "Do you know how many women call here daily and say Jay-Z they baby daddy?" Terry framed this moment as emblematic of a broader pattern of denial, invoking her mother saying, "What's done in the dark will come to light one day." For Leticia, that day seemed to arrive in 2020 when she decided to go public, sharing side-by-side photos of herself and Jay-Z, asserting a striking resemblance. She also claimed to have taken an ancestry DNA test that provided some answers, including a match with a poet named Ramier Satweight, who reportedly identified herself as Jay-Z's second cousin. Leticia's video montage concluded with a pointed statement, "He knows that I exist." The story gained traction, not only because of Leticia's claims, but also due to the involvement of others who appeared to support her narrative. In 2022, Oskino, a former member of the rap group State Property signed to Jay-Z's Rockefeller label, added fuel to the fire. Oskino alleged that Jay-Z had purchased a house for Leticia in Cambridge, Maryland, and was paying her bills, but with a catch. She was reportedly not allowed to display pictures of him in the home as part of their arrangement. This detail suggested a relationship that was both financially supportive and tightly controlled, possibly through a non-disclosure agreement (NDA). Oskino's comments painted Jay-Z as maintaining a distant but calculated connection with Leticia, a dynamic that contrasted with her public claims of being ignored. He also expressed a broader sentiment about responsibility, questioning how someone could provide for a child in secret but not publicly acknowledge them, especially given Jay-Z's immense wealth and influence. Oskino's remarks implied that if Leticia was indeed Jay-Z's daughter, the lack of public acknowledgement could be a source of emotional pain for her, regardless of any financial support. Leticia's story, however, is not the only paternity claim Jay-Z has faced. Another individual, Ramier Satweight, has been alleging for years that he is Jay-Z's son. Ramier's claims date back to the early 2010s, and he has pursued legal action to compel Jay-Z to take a paternity test. According to Ramier and his godmother, Dr. Lily Colley, Jay-Z has used his wealth and legal resources to avoid such a test, allegedly exploiting the legal system to suppress their claims. Ramier's story is complicated by additional allegations, including that his mother, Wanda, was 16 at the time of her relationship with a then 22-year-old Jay-Z, and that the rapper's legal team has engaged in tactics to delay or dismiss their lawsuits. In a 2024 interview with Liz Crokin, Ramier and Dr. Colley suggested that Beyoncé, Jay-Z's wife, may have played a role in discouraging him from acknowledging Ramier. They also claimed that intimidation tactics, including an alleged attempt on Ramier's life, were used to silence them. Ramier has stated he is not seeking financial compensation, but rather recognition and accountability, citing emotional and psychological distress caused by years of legal battles and public dismissal. The parallels between Leticia's and Ramier's stories have led to speculation about a pattern. Both individuals claim to have been marginalized by Jay-Z's refusal to acknowledge them, and both have pointed to external pressures, potentially from Beyoncé or Jay-Z's legal team, as barriers to resolution. Ramier even mentioned having communicated with Leticia a few years ago, noting that they discussed taking an ancestry DNA test together to explore their potential connection. However, he said the communication abruptly stopped, possibly due to an NDA or other external factors. This detail raises questions about whether Leticia's public silence in recent years could be tied to legal constraints or a shift in her circumstances. Adding another layer to the narrative is the broader context of Beyoncé's family dynamics. Beyoncé herself has faced scrutiny over her relationships with her half-siblings, Coy Knowles and Nixon Knowles, born to her father, Matthew Knowles, through extramarital relationships. Coy's mother, Takoya Branscombe, has spoken publicly about Matthew's initial denial of paternity, which was only resolved after a DNA test confirmed he was Coy's father. Similarly, Nixon's mother, Alexandra Wright, has described financial and emotional struggles, including a period when she and Nixon lived in a homeless shelter due to Matthew's refusal to provide support until legally compelled. Alexandra has also shared Nixon's feelings of rejection, noting his questions about why Beyoncé, his half-sister, does not acknowledge him. These stories have fueled speculation that Beyoncé's influence within her family extends to Jay-Z's handling of his own alleged children, with some suggesting she may discourage him from engaging with Leticia or Ramier to protect their public image and family unit. The allegations surrounding Leticia and Ramier have also drawn attention to Jay-Z's public persona. Known for his carefully curated image as a family man, entrepreneur, and advocate for social justice, Jay-Z has remained largely silent on these claims. However, he has indirectly addressed them in his music. In the 2018 song Heard About Us, from his and Beyoncé's joint album Everything Is Love, he rapped, "Billie Jean in his prime." For the 1000th time, "The kid ain't mine," a line widely interpreted as a dismissal of paternity claims, particularly Ramier's. This lyric, combined with the lack of direct engagement, has led some to view Jay-Z's response as evasive, especially given his resources and ability to resolve such claims through a simple DNA test. Critics on platforms like X have expressed frustration, with some arguing that his refusal to take a paternity test suggests he has something to hide. Others, however, defend Jay-Z, pointing out that high-profile figures are often targets of unfounded claims, and that taking a test could set a precedent for further lawsuits. Leticia's case, in particular, has resurfaced in recent discussions, with rumors circulating that her renewed public activity may stem from financial or emotional distress. Sources suggest that Jay-Z may have cut off or reduced support for Leticia and her mother, Lisa, who is now in a wheelchair due to her worsening multiple sclerosis. This alleged abandonment has reportedly left Leticia feeling betrayed, especially given her mother's health challenges. The claim that she signed an NDA adds complexity, as it raises questions about whether her recent actions, potentially violating such an agreement, could lead to legal repercussions. Some speculate that her decision to speak out again may reflect a sense of having nothing left to lose, particularly if the financial support she allegedly received has dwindled. The role of NDAs in these situations highlights a broader issue in celebrity culture: the use of legal agreements to manage personal controversies. If Leticia did sign an NDA, as Oschino and others have suggested, it could explain her periods of silence and the abrupt end to her communication with Ramier. NDAs are often used to protect high-profile individuals from public scandals, but they can also create a sense of isolation for those bound by them, particularly if they feel their claims are legitimate. For Leticia, the NDA might have been a condition of receiving financial support, such as the house Oschino mentioned, but it could also have restricted her ability to seek closure or public acknowledgement. The emotional toll of these allegations is evident in Leticia's and Ramier's stories. Leticia's Instagram posts emphasized her desire for identity and closure, not fame or money. She spoke of the pain of growing up in a community where her connection to Jay-Z was an open secret, yet unacknowledged by the man himself. Similarly, Ramier has described the psychological distress of being dismissed and the frustration of navigating a legal system that seems stacked against him. Both individuals have framed their pursuit as a quest for truth, not just for themselves, but for their families. Leticia's mother, Lisa, and Ramier's late mother, Wanda, are central figures in their narratives, with their struggles, Lisa's illness, and Wanda's early death adding urgency to their children's claims.